8 men who have the most wives. 1. Fatali Shah Qajar. Iran's second Shah during the Qajar era was Fatali Shah Qajar, from June 17, 1797 until his demise on October 24, 1834, he was the monarch. Although he went by Fatali Shah, until his coronation in 1797, most people knew him by his second name, Baba Khan. It is said that Fatali Shah had over 1,000 wives. In addition to that, he is also rumored to have 296 grandchildren and 292 granddaughters. He was survived by 47 sons and 46 daughters. Muhammad Ali Mirza Daulat Shah, the first son of Fatali, was 7 months older than Abbas Mirza, the second son. However, the latter was referred to as the Crown Prince, or Waliad. This was because Muhammad Ali Mirza Daulat Shah was born to a mother who is not of Qajar descent. 2. King Solomon. The Hebrew Bible, sometimes known as the Old Testament, describes Solomon as the son and heir of King David, a monarch of ancient Israel. According to the description, he was the penultimate king of a united Israel and Judah. Solomon's reign is thought to have lasted from 970 to 931 BCE. The Bible claims that following his demise, Rehoboam, his son and successor, pursued a harsh policy against the northern tribes, which ultimately caused the Israelites to be divided between the kingdom of Judah in the south and the kingdom of Israel in the north. King Solomon is said to have had over 700 wives and 300 concubines. The wives were described as foreign princesses, including Pharaoh's daughter and women of Moab, Ammon, Edom, Sidon and of the Hittites. The Egyptian Pharaoh's daughter seems to have been a political alliance, while the other relations were considered to be in love. The only wife mentioned in the Bible, however, is Naamah the Ammonite, Mother Solomon's successor, Rehoboam. 3. Jack Kigongo. Jack Kigongo, a Ugandan man, was said to have 20 wives. Reportedly, he married his youngest when he was 80 years old. Kigongo lived in a mansion with 12 of his wives. Another 8 of his wives lived in a second house also belonging to Kigongo. Kigongo is also said to have 158 children and over 500 grandchildren. Many said that at one point, at least 80 children in the school were his. When the Ugandan Bush W&R came, Kigongo lost 22 of his sons. By the time he met his demise, only 11 wives were left behind, along with numerous children and grandchildren. His oldest child was then 60 years old, while his youngest child was 15 years old. 4. Joseph Smith. Joseph Smith founded the Mormon Church. At the age of 24, Smith published the Book of Mormon, which led to the conversion of tens of thousands of people by the time of his demise, which occurred 14 years later. He is said to have married over 30 women throughout his life. Some of his wives already had spouses when he married them. Some of these polyandrous marriages were contracted with the consent of the first husband. The age range of the wives was from 14 years old to 60 years old. Smith's first wife Emma was completely against polygamy. Some accounts suggest that Smith had been teaching a polygamy doctrine as early as 1831, and there is evidence that he may have been a polygamist by 1835. While she initially agreed to Smith marrying 4 more women, she couldn't stand Smith having multiple spouses. She soon sent them away from their house. Because of Emma's reaction, Smith began hiding that he had added more wives to the list. 5. Brigham Young. Brigham Young was an American religious leader and politician. He was the second president of the LDS Church from 1847 until his demise in 1877. Young was a polygamist, having at least 56 wives. The church was not very ready to accept the policy and practice of polygamy. Young stated that upon being taught about plural marriage by Joseph Smith, "It was the first time in my life that I desired the grave." By the time of his demise, Young had 57 children by 16 of his wives. 46 of his children reached adulthood. Over the centuries, the true number of Young's wives have varied. This is because of what definition people applied to the word wife. While most of his relations were sealed for eternity, some were temporary. Since Young did not officially address a large number of the women as wives, the true number is not known. 6. Abumi II. Abumi II, the 11th kind of Meroe in Cameroon, is said to have over 100 wives. According to tradition, at least 72 of them were inherited when the previous king met his demise. Elder queens often taught the traditional ways to the new king and also to the younger wives. Although polygamy is legal in Cameroon, the number of polygamous marriages is reducing steadily. This traditional practice is dwindling for a number of reasons, including changing values, the spread of the Christian faith, the growing appeal of the Western way of life, but also high living costs of having large families. Abumi II is said to have almost 500 children. 7. Ancentis, Danger Akuku. Ancentis Akuku, more commonly known as Danger Akuku, was a man who had 100 wives. He was Kenya's most prominent polygamist. He is to have fathered at least 200 children. Reportedly, women flocked to Akuku because of his handsome looks. He was in his late 90s when he passed away from natural causes. Akuku married his first wife in 1939 and became polygamist at the age of 22. He outlived 12 of his wives. His most recent wife, he married in 1992. He established 2 elementary schools solely for the purpose of educating his kids. He also established a church for his growing family to attend. As a way of bonding with his children, Akuku reportedly named all 200 of them. 8. Moulay Ismail ibn Sharif. Moulay Ismail ibn Sharif was a sultan of Morocco from 1672 to 1727. He was the second ruler of Alawi dynasty. During his lifetime, he had a harem of over 500 women and with more than 800 confirmed biological children. This made him one of the most prodigious fathers in recorded history. Moulay Ismail was a serial polygamist. At the time of his demise, historian Abd al-Rahman ibn Zaidan suggests that the total number of wives and harem concubines reached up to 700.